Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Danielle. So today's pick a card reading is going to be centered around how does your family see you? And what we're going to look at first, the breakdown of this card reading, is what is their impressions of you? So what is the way that they see you on a personality energy level? And then we're gonna do a card pull for what do they want from you subconsciously. And then also we'll give you both the perspectives on what's happening in the situation. The third thing we're gonna do, we're gonna pull a card for yourself and we're gonna ask what does your inner child want from them? And give you some clarification on perhaps why you are reacting the way you are in that relationship, or why you might find yourself going back a lot for validation or things like that. Like I said, I haven't done the card reading yet, so I'm not sure what's going to come out, but those are just some examples that I'm thinking of. The fourth question we're going to ask is how can you meet that need within yourself? And the importance of why I want to ask that is so that you can kind of take some pressure off this relationship dynamic, or also if it's just like a need that isn't getting met by this family member or this parent, odds are it never was met by them. So we are going to see how you can heal that within yourself if you're interested in that. Fifth thing we're going to look at is what does your family want for you? And this is going to be asking sort of their higher consciousness, their higher self, so that we really just get at the root what they really do want for you. And I'm hoping that this will help bring some more loving perspective into this dynamic. Then sixth, the last question we are going to ask is how can you relate to them? And I wanted to put this one in there for the people who might be drawn to this picker card reading because they're having some relationship conflicts with their family, or some differences in perspectives and beliefs. So I wanted to put it in here if you do value your family members and you're having some difficulty, how can you relate to them? How can you sort of have more intimacy within that relationship without compromising on who you are or on your beliefs? How can you better connect with them? And then at the very end of this entire card reading, there's going to be a collective healing. I haven't done it yet, so I'm just going to kind of see at the end of the piles if I'm going to do a clearing or a healing, but I'll attach in the bottom whichever one it's going to be. It might just be a chakra balancing, might be a little bit of inner child clearing or healing, but we're just going to really leave it open to whatever happens. So yeah, you can check that out. I'm going to put it underneath the timestamp so you can get that if you want. With collective healings, it is totally up to you to decide or affirm if you want to receive it. So you do what feels right for you, what feels good. That's it about that. The piles that we have to choose from are these three. This one here has a rainbow aura crystal. And then we have pile 2, which also is a piece of rainbow aura crystal. It's quite a bit rougher. And it has a little less of the rainbow colors in it. And then lastly, pile 3 is this rose quartz point or tower. If you know how to pick a card, go ahead into the description box below and choose your pile. If you do not, I'm going to give you a quick explanation on what I like to get people to do, which, if you haven't heard me say it before, is ground yourself. Readings resonate so much more with people when you're grounded. Your intuition is just much easier to hear. You're in connection with yourself. It's just a really great thing to do. So then after that, you're going to take 4 deep breaths to ground yourself. You're going to start with breathing air in from above your head, down through your nose gently to your center, and then out through your mouth. We do this 4 times. Make sure you're nice and grounded. After that, we're going to look at the card piles after asking yourself the question above. how does your family see you? What pile has a message for you about your family relationship? Anything around that. And then that's when you start looking and just seeing how you feel. You're going to look at each pile and you're going to see, is it a crystal that's just catching your eye that you feel like you need to choose? Is it the deck underneath that's interesting you and catching your eye? Does the order it in mean something to you? Do you just like the one that's in the center? You can choose that way, or you might even choose by going into the description box and seeing what timestamp is associated with that pile. That also works. You're really just looking for whichever one catches your eye and you're feeling drawn to in some shape or form. And that's really all there is to it. So I am gonna leave you now and let you ground yourselves and choose your piles, and then I'll see you in your card reading. Hello, pile 1. You chose the first piece of Rainbow Aura Tumblestone. Okay, let's take a look at your reading here. So I have already selected the cards that have the energy of your family member you're wondering about in them, but I still have to pull all the cards centered around you. In your family member's perspective, in your family's perspective, what do you look like? And I'm really was looking for kind of the energy and the personality they get from you. So I got 2 cards for you. And one is Don Juan and the other one is Advocate. So the light attributes of Don Juan is spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. The shadow attributes are using your power of romantic attraction for private agendas. We'll look more into that one in a second here. And then the other one was the light attributes inspires you to put compassion into action. And the shadow attributes embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. How I see this coming out through your family's perspectives is, well, first I should say I think this is a whole family body. I think it's parents and siblings mainly. If you have siblings, some of you do, this is how they see you. And it's really like seeing you as being the more socially active one in the family. I get the impression that in comparison to your families, you are more within society. You do more social norms. There we go. I feel like you are, in their eyes, a lot better at understanding how social groups work, how social classes work, understanding how to fit in and belong in multiple different social dynamics. I almost would get the impression that they would think you're like a social media influencer or a networker in comparison to them. And I have the impression that some of you do not think that at all about yourselves, but through their eyes, this is who we're seeing it through, they just think that you understand it on such a better level than they do. They couldn't quite fit in as well as you do in a lot of these social situations. And for that, they see you kind of as this, I would say, networker. Like, you really understand how to get people excited and want to be around you, how to get people to get excited about things or feel good about the things that they're doing or you're doing with them. And I really see this in a broad spectrum. I just think you're very good at going into different groups of people. And then how I see it though, a bit of where I would sense some worry from this pile is that sometimes I think they're worried that you believe you're doing the best, but you're putting all your energy into the wrong things in their eyes. In their eyes, they think that you might be a bit misled or misguided in the causes you are going after. And I think this could be anywhere from social justices to groups you're supporting to environmentalist things that you believe in that they might not. Maybe you believe in composting and they just think it's kind of silly. Maybe you actually joined a committee where you go out and you plant trees or pick up garbage, things like that, where through their eyes, they just feel like whatever you're spending your time on or focusing on isn't the thing that they think is the most important. Just meaning that there's some cause that everyone's family who chose this pile has. Like they have a main focus. It could be religion. It could just be their belief systems. I feel like there's some of you who your families are kind of extreme, more on the extreme side of conspiracy theorists, and they're very passionate about that. Things like that. They have very strong belief systems, and this is a general card reading, so there are a few coming up, but I just see that who you are and what you're passionate about doesn't really focus on what they focus on and are passionate about and talk about, and that's totally fine. It's just seeing it through their eyes of being like, they think you're just very great, you have a lot of social skills, you understand things on a level they don't understand, but they have this little bit of concern that you focus a little too much on some things that you shouldn't be, or you might be a bit misled. And I think some of that they might think comes from all of your social circles you're involved in. I think they think that maybe sometimes you hang out with people who have sort of found falsehoods is kind of the word I keep wanting to say, who have been misled themselves, but they just don't realize it. So I don't actually get any impression that they think you are bad in any way. They just see you as a person that they care a lot about and are a little bit worried that you aren't always focusing on what they think is important. But like I said, though, this is really coming from their perception, and I don't see anything bad about what you're focusing on. I actually feel like you have a very more open-minded energy than your family. As the card reader looking in on this, I feel like you're a lot more open-minded. You really want to understand other people's passions, see what is out there, see all these options and possibilities, and really expand your knowledge. And to them, they see that more. I almost feel like they come at it with a little bit more fear, as being exposed to the wrong things or wasting their time focusing on other things when they know what they're passionate about already. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. There's just a little bit of worry for you. Yeah, that's definitely how I'd put it. A bit worried for you because they see that you're so good and they're scared that you could be easily influenced by all these people, because I think they see you as someone who just likes people very easily and trusts people very easily. Okay, we're gonna look at the next question. What are they wanting or hoping to receive from you? And I did have the intention that this would be subconscious. So for this pile, I actually got 3. So I have the healer, the comic, and the unseen. There's actually a little cat head in the center of that one, if you can't quite tell. A little kitty. It's actually kind of a creepy looking kitty, but yeah. Okay, so what is really interesting about the healer and the unseen card is they both talk about the same thing. I definitely am going to be a little more biased here towards your family being of a belief system or having strong beliefs. Like I said, it could be in the conspiracy theory realm or it could be a religion. Both have the same energy here, where what they're wanting from you on a subconscious level and probably also on a conscious level, that they really want you to essentially see things as you once did. So this could have been when you were very young, or as they see it. And it's not really a fair thing to put on you, but this is coming just completely from their own wants. And how I see it is essentially that they want you to hear the truth again, to see the truth and hear the truth. But also a part of that, though, is that the part that is a little bit nicer and not just so much of what they want for you and not really considering maybe what you want for yourself, is I should also add that in. I should really say, when I see these cards, I see that this is really coming out of what they think they need to be happy. And if anyone here knows anything, you can't really focus your life on what you need someone else to do to make yourself happy. You kind of have to really take accountability and responsibility of your own needs and take care of them. But yeah, I really see it as for them, they feel like it's a need that you do this for them to get their needs met, for them to be okay. And that is actually probably a huge lesson for them to learn. And it could even be why you are born into this family, is essentially that they wanted to grow and learn to accept others fully as they are and for their opinions. And the only way they could do that is if you were born in their family and taught them that, because they have so much love for you that they ultimately will have to face this. This is the challenge their soul is here to learn. I definitely think that's a huge part of their journey. But anyways, the other part of this is this one in the center is actually quite nicer. I feel like there can be a lot of maybe tension or hesitancy in your relationship, and what they're really wanting is just to see that fun side of you that everyone else gets with them. They want you to be lighthearted and cheer them up and inspire them to maybe do some things that they didn't know existed and are comfortable with. Of course, I do get that they do have a range of things they are comfortable with, but really what they want and what they really like from you is just that easygoingness, that lightheartedness that a lot of other people recognize and see in you in these cards here. And like I said, they do see this. Their perception is that you do this for so many people, and I think sometimes because of these other like very pressuring wants they have for you, that sometimes the lightheartedness and just the fun and just experiencing each other and loving each other is really also what they want. So yeah, I can see how this relationship could be a little bit tricky. I just almost want to put these two together, because they feel like your family's sole lesson in this lifetime that you are here to help teach them. And then this is actually the card where I think you, if you want to, would be comfortable, and I think for this pile even happy to do this for them, to know that they want to just have those lighthearted moments, those fun things, those connection moments as well, and that they're not always just thinking about how they want you to come back to your roots, to the family heritage. I feel like that's what it is. This feels very family, deep tradition, and that's why I'm just like, it's amazing, because really what I see here is that you just came in this family to help with that. So I'm sorry for the hardships you must go through with this, because I just feel like this pile has probably handled this very well, considering the fact that this family has such strong beliefs, and yet there's still so much love there and so much respect for you there, and they do see you still as just such a good person. So I just really think that you guys have done amazing. Sorry, I shouldn't say you guys. My upbringing habit, we always refer to guys as everyone, because before, I guess, we just didn't have that awareness that it was a bad thing. I'm trying to say it less, but it's just something I've said my whole life and slips out a lot. So I apologize. So you have done, this whole group has done really good with being respectful of your family, but also respecting yourself. And I don't think that came easily right away, but I really just want to recognize you there. That I don't know if you'll get that from your family, but You've done very well. Just to finish the energy with them, I'm just going to put down the last 3 cards that I pulled for you for what does your family want for you. So these were really what they subconsciously were wanting from you, or I feel like in this case they think they need from you for these ones. But this now is just like on a higher level, what do they actually want you to experience in this life? What do they want for you? Okay, so we have the Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. Wise One, grow within your current situation. And Sky Father, trust is in the unknown. So from higher self view from your family, what they're really wanting you to do is to not be dissuaded by the outside forces, essentially. But I don't even mean this in like a fearful way. What they really want for you is you to, even, I would say, even with them, to just trust and always know and honor what's best for you. And like I said, this is coming from higher self. So from their higher self, they really want you to just go through this life honoring and knowing what's best for you and trusting in yourself, that wherever you end up in this life, it's going to be a good place, because you put a lot of good out there. There's a lot coming in, and I really think they think that you can have essentially whatever you want in your life. How I mean that is, I wouldn't say that they would ever use the words manifestation, but I do see that they just think that whatever you put your mind to, you will achieve, you will have in your life, and they do really want that for you. They want you to not be held back by limiting beliefs or fears. They want you to really experience and trust yourself in this lifetime. And I just really see that they realize and recognize that you are a soul that came here to grow, and you're gonna come here and learn so many things, maybe things that you've learned in past lives and you're gonna relearn, but I think in a lot of ways you're just gonna learn more than what most people do in one life. You're not okay with just learning a couple of things and then becoming really great at them. You're here to essentially come in and master it all. And I don't even think a jack of all trades is quite the right word for you. I feel like this pile, you have the potential to be great at so many things, which is also a very unique gift in a lot of ways. And there's also just like a little message here from one of the people's higher selves in your family, saying that just to trust that where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be in your spiritual journey, and recognizing that it's actually very interesting talking to higher selves. So although you might not ever hear this from the actual person, I do believe that your family recognizes that you are actually on track as far as your soul wanted to be experiencing things, and that you are following your guides. I do see that as a pretty big recognition here, is that they see that you are following, I would say, angelic forces and light forces. There's no concern there from a higher self perspective, and that you are you're doing everything right now at the right time, and to just keep trusting the journey you're on, because you're doing everything you can. You're doing everything right, you're doing everything at the right pace. And I don't know why that's really important for me to mention, but that's definitely a very big message, is just keep trusting yourself and knowing that you are doing exactly what you're supposed to do. The struggles you're having with your family, unfortunately, on some level was predetermined by the lessons you came in together to want to learn from each other. Mainly, I think, from their standpoint about learning to accept and fully love someone who is different, who has different beliefs, and really, really still loving someone. And then for your perspective, I think there's a lot on trusting yourself. Like, I think they're here to really help you learn to fully trust yourself and believe in yourself. And that might seem like a bit of a strange one, but I just see, like, I think there is a lot of good relationships still with this family. There is a lot of wounding and a lot of hurt, but I think overall there is still a lot of love. And for you to know that part of your soul lesson was just to learn how to trust yourself, even though you believe these other people do believe what they believe, are smart and intelligent and are good people. I think that this lifetime, it was really for you to see all that, but know that what's best for you, no one can say or decide except for you. And you're on your own journey, just like they're on their own journey. Okay, I hope that makes sense. This reading is going a little bit differently than I had originally thought, but I just want whatever messages need to be heard to come through. So I'm hoping this is all really, really cementing something within you, validating something within you that you, I hope, already knew. I feel like none of this is new information, but it was information that you're really needing to have reiterated to you. Okay, I am just gonna put these cards away, and then I'm gonna pull cards for your energy with this family. All right, so we're just gonna pull a few cards on what does your inner child want from your family. So pile one, what does pile one's inner child want? Oops, from their family. Flame, the Storm, Shaman. So what I see here, the Flame card is very lovely to have come out. It's saying that your inner child essentially is just really wanting your family to recognize that you're on your own sacred spiritual journey, and that you feel like you know your purpose and you feel aligned with it, and you are honestly just feeling very excited and passionate about it. But I think the problem is that they just don't see that. And the other thing I'm seeing is that, like, I think that your inner child really wants them to see greater than their own perspective, than their own universes. And I shouldn't say your inner child really wants them to see that there's so much out there, and that it's not just this scary, scary place, and that there's so many things around the corner that can hurt you. Instead, there's so much out there that's beautiful and fascinating and amazing and so interesting, and there's just so much to learn, and you would really love that. And I also think your inner child really wants to be seen as the spiritual being you are, as an empowered adult. I feel like that is almost what your inner child would say, is that I'm a spiritual, fully awoken, embodied individual. Something around that. I feel like that's what your inner child is really wishing you could say. And I think essentially it's really wishing you could be seen. Seen as not someone who's lost, but someone who is incredibly found and actually is okay with exactly where they are and is happy. And I think the inner child within you wants to be recognized as that, because you sense and feel all those expectations and those wants and desires about you coming back, returning back to how things were, to what they believe, to their culture, whichever it is. But it's hard for your inner child, because you are just so happy where you are right now, and you wish you could share that with them and really be seen as that empowered spiritual being. So I want to pull a couple of cards here around what you can do to meet that inner child need, that inner child want for yourself. And I'm hoping that it maybe just helps a little bit with your relationship dynamic with your family, and helps you feel like there's a little less tension, a little less wounding and hurt there. But like I said, doesn't mean that there won't be, but I just really want to give you some tools, something to feel like you have some, essentially, yeah, just so that you feel like you have some tools to work with, and meet those needs for yourself. And I also just want to add in that I can just see that there's so much passion here. There's just so much, and you're really just, you feel like the world is limitless now, that there's no small box that you're stuck in or have to live in. You're just, there's no walls anymore, no boundaries. So that's really cool. I'm really happy for it's really beautiful to see these things come out for you. And I'm sorry that you can't share them with your family, because I just see so much passion and excitement for it. Okay. So surrender to your full power. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. And I actually really want 3. Oh, I don't know if I wanted that one. Sorry, I feel like there's a lot of cards that want to talk to you. Okay, surrender to inner peace. For the wanting them to recognize that you are so happy and complete spiritually now, and that you're not lost. You're very found. It says to surrender to your full power. So your life is a calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. So that is actually really great advice. I mean, you know your boundaries, you know your families. This might not mean that you will be seen as that through them, but don't think that just because they are in a place where they are ready to accept that and see that you should make yourself small, that you should hide who you are. Embrace your full you, because like I keep saying, I just keep getting that there's so much power here. You're such an empowered individual. You see that there's no limits for you. So just keep going that way. If there's things that you've been hesitant to do because of perhaps your family, I mean, like I said, this is just what I am getting from this reading. Do not do anything that doesn't feel right or resonate with you, but the advice I'm seeing is just fully embrace you. That's why you're here. It doesn't mean it's always going to be easy, but you're here just to be you and experience that, and to learn all the things your soul is so excited to learn. Don't make yourself small. You're too powerful to fit in a little box. Okay. Then for surrender outdated beliefs about yourself, let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originated from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. So that actually honestly really complements the other one, where your inner child might still be hanging on to some old beliefs about yourself, and you might not really even realize them, but they might be coming up when maybe you don't take an opportunity, or you don't say yes to something that in hindsight you're like, oh, I would actually really have loved that, but maybe just wouldn't have been good at it. It's just saying to try to recognize that within yourself, because there is some beliefs coming through, some beliefs coming up that no longer serve you. I really honestly get that these are beliefs that you've kind of recognized and know aren't true, but there's just a few ways they're slipping into your life still. So just try to keep an eye open for any time you might put a limit on yourself, or say, oh, that'd be great, but maybe someday. And just really, once you have that thought, recognize it and say, hey, that's not true. I'm fully capable of doing that. Or next time that opportunity comes up, I'm gonna say yes. Or maybe you can even take advantage of that opportunity yet. Maybe you can just call that friend or that person and say, hey, sorry, I just had a second think about it, and I would love to take advantage of that opportunity. I would love to do that. That sounds amazing, and I'm really excited about it. Just things like that. I hope that makes sense. I feel like for this pile, I keep talking about very general situations, but I think it's because there's a situation that you're thinking about and that's in your minds, and I'm just speaking to it, even though I don't fully know what the situation is. So I hope that makes sense for you all. If not, I am sorry. I don't really know the situation, but I'm getting that there's sometimes things that come up where you wish, there's a bit of regret that you didn't learn it or take the opportunity to. So those are the ones that need to go, because those old programs are done with. You don't need them anymore. Okay, surrender to inner peace. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. Oh, that's great. So if you don't have some sort of meditation routine or practice or gratitude journaling or inner child journaling, even maybe if you, I feel like some people aren't gonna like this word, but even if you do like diarying, like, is that what I say? If you have a diary and you write in it, that would also be good. Something that just helps you take a moment to just be in your body, be very present, and ask yourself, what's going on? How do I feel today? What am I happy for? It's just truly reconnecting with yourself and making sure you set time to do it, because I actually feel like it's gonna give your inner child the knowledge that your inner child's gonna know that you are wanting to see it, hear it, validate it, be with it. And I think if there's been a lot of blocks or those little limiting beliefs that might keep popping up, I think that's gonna help with that too. It's going to essentially give your inner child the recognition it's been wanting. I feel like that's more it. I feel like it's not so much about it not being heard, but it's more about it not being seen. And it just wants to even be seen and acknowledged. And you can essentially do that and give your inner child that through taking those moments throughout each day. If you can only do 1 minute or 2 minutes a day, that's going to be a game changer compared to not doing any. And I know routines can seem boring, but when a routine is put in place because you're excited about the change it's going to create in your life, you're excited about the healing and the joy and the good it's going to bring, then a routine is worth it. It's going to do so much good for you, and you can choose the 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Maybe some days you just do 10 minutes. Some days maybe you have an amazing day and you do like 20 or 30 minutes of just journaling, being so happy with what you've done. It doesn't have to be a specific time, but as long as you're taking the time to do it and seeing yourself and validating yourself and recognizing yourself for how far you've come, that's really going to be what your inner child wants. Okay, I'm going to pull a couple more cards from this deck. It's the Inner Peace deck. I just really like it, and I know I just kind of gave you a few things, but I really just want to pull a couple more for what can you do to help connect with your inner child, to keep your inner child happy. We have 2 cards here. So we have Toby the cat. Oh, yikes. That's okay. Ooh, actually, the first thing I want to point out is the number 44. Double fours. Whenever I see double numbers, I just go and look them up right away. How I see 44 is as a strong support number, having stronger support systems. And maybe just go look up the angelic meaning of the number 44 to be sure of that. But when I see it, that's just the quick meaning I've put behind it, is that it means that I have better support systems coming in. I have good friends who are like-minded and trusting and really, help me keep my mindset where I want it to be, while also acknowledging that sometimes things are hard, sometimes there are fears. It's like that healthy support system that isn't too positive, that it's unhealthy, but it isn't too negative and focused on the negative, that you get stuck in it. So that's really good to come up. So it says, come together, we need each other. Where have you been separating yourself or pushing against others and the world? Ooh, so yeah, I would say 44 probably is a good support number, meaning you're getting some support come in. It's also just a beautiful card. And you know what, how I also see this is just reminding yourself, like I said, about some of those outdated beliefs where you might be holding yourself back a little bit. And I don't mean to say that in a harmful way at all. I just mean that sometimes you can get in your head about maybe you're deserving of taking that opportunity, or you're too maybe scared to ask if you can join someone on this amazing event that you would like to go to. It's things around, there's something there. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's just little ways where you politely decline an offer that you in afterwards kind of wish you could have done, but then sometimes the inner child comes in and says, well, you couldn't have done it anyways, or it wouldn't have worked out, or something fear-based. It's not something that is positive. It's something that's fear-based about your value. So keeping an eye on that, because I really see that the people you're going to be meeting, whether you've met them your whole life or in the last few years, but the ones especially now, whenever you're seeing this card reading, they're very supportive people. They are people who I think are just good, just want to bring help and more love to the world. And I know that can seem cheesy and corny, but I really get that vibe from this card, that you are being surrounded by people who are going to help you get the things you want. And you just have to remember to say yes when you want to, of course. If you don't want to, don't say yes. But I'm feeling like there's just like the world is your oyster. You are really working on trying to get something in, and this is a confirmation card that you are doing things right. Keep doing whatever you're doing, and you're gonna get there. You're getting the right people, everything's aligning. And then this card here says, the collective field is impacting you. Unseen forces in action. How can you relinquish control of the situation that feels blocked? Ooh, okay, so actually how I'm seeing this card is there's something you want to do right now, and that actually just makes sense. There's been a few lightning cards in here, but whenever I see that, I always see that there's something that should be ready to go right now that you're wanting to do right now, but there's a block there. And I think for you, it is a little bit of fear or discomfort around something. Like I said, I'm so sorry, general card reading, I can't get the specific situation. There's a lot going on here, but I just see that if you're open to it, it would be a very good time to take some time to reflect on what's coming up that's stopping you from taking it. And I do think it's going to be an outdated limiting belief about yourself that is stopping you, and I really think it's something around not being good enough to try, or if you do try, you'll probably just fail, or why would someone want to help you with that? Those aren't true words. I gotta stress that those aren't true words, but those are the words that I'm getting in my head when I'm like, there's a situation that everything is aligned for you to go for it right now, but you're having hesitancy because there's some old belief system coming in and creating, I see like a fear block, a block of there's no point in trying, you aren't good enough. But that is, like I have to keep saying, is so not true, and that's why it's coming up. I think I've said twice now that you aren't made to be put in a box. You have no limits. You are meant to like grow and learn so much and do essentially things that other people are scared to do. And I think this card reading is coming through because it's like whatever it is that you have going on in your back of your mind or in the forefront of your mind, that situation, that opportunity, go for it. Your guides think it's great. You just keep checking in, do those daily check-ins with that inner child, and you're gonna have a lot less of a hard time, because that fear and that block is gonna come up less because you're acknowledging it. You're essentially giving it the acknowledgement that it's been really wanting, so that it becomes happy and essentially stops popping up in inappropriate moments, in moments where you no longer need that as like a protection mechanism. Okay, yeah, I think that's all for that. And then the last card I'm gonna pull is, how can you relate with your family more? How can you have a better interaction or connection with them? That's what we want. How can you have a better connection with your family? Some advice from spirit, the guides, the universe, whichever word you resonate with. How can pile one? Okay, I really want this one. I keep seeing the top of it. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but we want it for this file. So it says, don't take anything personally. Your truth is personal to you. And I have an opinion that you guys like going outside, being near the woods, going on park walks, going in the mountains. I think some of you are even just, you like farming vibes. And if you like that, that's good. It's really good to be outside. It will make you more grounded. Okay, that wasn't really specific to the family, but for some reason it was important to mention that to you all. if you're having problems being grounded right now. You might need to remember to go outside. Your own opinions and point of view reflect your own agreements and are personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours. Oh, that's a really good card. It's just really cementing the fact that knowing that just because your family doesn't see you and can't fully accept you with honestly with where they're at in their journey, their spiritual journey in their life, it doesn't mean that these things aren't your truth, that this isn't you, that you aren't a powerful spiritual being. I just want to keep saying that. That feels so important for this pile to say you are an empowered spiritual being, and you are going to be that whether they see it or not. And that might be a good thing to remember. But I also would just like another card. We got another one. On maybe some other things that could help with this connection is stay in the present moment. And it says, keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. This is the beginning of a new understanding and a new dream. Okay, that one's also very good. I think it's kind of insinuating to a lot of the conflict with this family member or the family could have come from past wounding, and it's calling for you not to discredit your wounding or your pain, but to keep yourself in the present. So I guess that's why the grounding card was good. Make sure you're staying grounded. When you're grounded, it will help you stay in the now, and it will help you not find yourself when you're with them or talking to them, all of a sudden going to a place in your mind where you're reliving or cycling through times where they might have rejected you, times where they might have hurt you or said something that didn't make you feel seen or acknowledged. And instead of doing that, you're going to stay right there in that moment. You're going to hear them just for what they're saying now, and you're not going to put the past on it. You're just going to respond with curiosity and ask more. And that is one of the most amazing and hardest things for us to learn in this life. And it seems like it is something that you are being asked to learn now, is to try your best to remove our bias in the past way and understand that humans change. Some of the beliefs will stay the same, but we're people who can all change and grow, and maybe what they're saying now doesn't mean or refer to what had happened in the past. Maybe they're really just coming from a place of curiosity too. Okay. I think this is where this card reading is gonna end. I am gonna do a chakra balancing at the end of this whole video, so you can go to the description box if you would like to receive that. I'm gonna do it for the collective, and I'm just after doing your reading, I think what I'm gonna do is just gonna go through each chakra and balance it out. So if you're interested in that, that will be there. If not, you have a great day. You take care of yourselves. I hope you know that you're doing amazing. You obviously are well respected by your family and well loved. And I also should just add, I can't say this for sure for everyone, but I get the impression that if there was any fear of this relationship ending, I don't see that. I see that you're both very much in this as a soul lesson to grow together and learn very different lessons, but to learn throughout this life. I don't think this relationship is going to end. I just think that there'll be times where it's challenging, times where maybe you need a bit of distance, and maybe when they need a bit of distance. But I think overall, what I can see is there's a lot of love in this relationship, and that this is just the experiences that your souls, before coming into this life, decided they wanted to learn and grow with. Okay, all right. I'm gonna let you go now. You have a good week, and I'll see you around. Hello, pile 2. You chose the second piece of Rainbow Aura Quartz. Just gonna put that there. All right, so I pre-pulled the cards for the energies of your family, but we're going to pull the cards for you together. So the first one up was, in your family's perspective, what do you look like? How do they see you? And I actually got 3 for this pile. We have the Hero, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. We have Engineer, ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. And then we also have Artist, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Okay, pile 2. So what I want to point out right away is, if some of you are looking at these and you don't feel like they make any sense, the overall understanding I have of this is that your families just really see you as people who overcome the craziest of odds, that you have the most creative solutions to problems, and that whenever they've just thought, okay, that's it, there's no solution here, this just sucks, we're just stuck here, all of a sudden they see you go in and it's like you're so quick at it too. I think that's what they feel like. They're just like, you're so quick at it. You just go in there, you see the solution, you're so smart, you just can see things other people can't see. It's like you are a really hard person to hold back. You're a really hard person to keep from succeeding, is almost the words I want to use. But then I also feel like you cause a lot of other people to be inspired by that. Like, you come in, you just do your thing, it's very natural and normal for you, and the people around you are like in awe almost. They're almost just like, whoa, how did they figure that out so fast? How did they do that? How could I be more like this person? How do I get to that level of success, of genius, is I think some of the words some people might use for you. But I kind of get the impression that it's just very naturally you. You're just really gifted. You're very intelligent. You're very good at seeing the full situation, is almost what I want to say. You just literally look at things, and instead of being focused on the tunnel vision, you see it just as a whole. And that's really amazing. I feel like that is wisdom, and that is a gift that has followed you through past lives into this one. I can't be certain, but I just feel like it's so deep within who you are that I have such a hard time believing that you haven't been this way in other lives. And I also get the impression when I see the Hero card here, passion for a journey of personal empowerment, I feel like you are in some way open to the spiritual world, whether you are Christian or religious in some way, or just very spiritual. There's something there. You have a very deep awareness that there is a higher energy, a higher creation. I even think for you, you might just see it as like the cosmic energy is maybe the words that I would use. I also feel like you might have a weird knack for sacred geometry if you've never looked into that. I just feel like you could see it and you could just understand it intuitively on a level that a lot of people have to study to understand it. That is not a message from your family, but unless they've told you that recently, that is just a message coming through for you. But basically how your family sees you is, I do see that, like, you're the hero, you're the support person they call when they're in a pickle and they really need help. They go to you and they just trust and know that you'll help them and you'll have the solution, and essentially feel like there's a lot of relief that you help people with. They truly just feel like, oh, this person is here, you are here, and now I don't have to be so stressed and afraid anymore. You're gonna help. You always make things better, whether it's just changing their perspective or figuring out the situation. You always have really great solutions for them. So there's like a lot of appreciation there, but I also almost get the impression that you're more the parent in the dynamic. So even if you this is your family, like your parents coming through. I feel like you, in a lot of ways, almost feel like the parent to them still. That you almost essentially took care of them a little bit more than most children did. There's a lot of responsibilities that I feel came off of this pile for you. Like, I feel there's a lot of responsibilities put on you from this family dynamic, but there's so much love that it feels like overall it's been a very loving relationship. Okay, now I'm just going to pull a couple cards for what are your family members wanting from you subconsciously, or it could be conscious, but I wanted to put it out there that it could be subconsciously. What are they wanting from you? And I got 2 cards. I got the Siren card and the Village. So I'm actually really glad these cards came out, because I was literally just saying the other day to my partner how I wish these cards would come out. I've seen them in the deck, but I've never pulled them in a reading. So thank you for letting that wish be granted, essentially. Thank you. I am seeing this from the family perspective, and I'm gonna kind of say what I see from their end, but then I'm also gonna make sure I say how I see it as the one outside of the situation. So like pile 1 also had this, what the family member wants, or the family wants, that they're asking from you on a subconscious level, is a lot of unhealthy tendencies. From what I've seen so far from the other pile and from what I've seen here, it's almost like their need that they're not meeting for themselves, that they're putting on you. So what I see this as is them essentially wishing you would come back home. And how I see that is, I don't know for sure, I'm sure there's a variety of people in this group, but the energy that I'm getting is that you may have stayed close to them. Maybe you lived with them. I get the impression that it felt like you were still living with them if you weren't, because you were just there all the time. I think you were getting a lot of phone calls from these family members, or a particular family member. Essentially what this family member was wanting is, I feel like they almost don't know how to do things without you, and they've attached getting things done and feeling safe to you. And that's why I'm really stressing that this is not a healthy subconscious need to put on you. And I shouldn't say it's a need, it's definitely a soul lesson for them to learn to do things without you. But I almost get the impression is that for you living through this, you may get the impression, or have gotten the impression before, that whatever family member calls you a lot wishes that their spouse was essentially like you. I get this kind of strange dynamic where there's no sexual attraction towards you. I do not want you to hear that. I just hear that what you can do, how you help them, how safe they feel around you, and how secure they feel around you. They're very codependent with you. They need you. I don't get the impression from you that you need them, but you are definitely feeling morally, you definitely feel like you want to help them out, but I think a lot of times it can be a little exhausting, which makes sense with all the energy I see them putting towards you. So if you felt like it's been hard to set boundaries with this family member, or they're constantly breaking boundaries, you're not wrong. This energy is telling me for sure it's been hard to set them with them. I think they can get truly very manipulative just out of their own fear that they're feeling. Like, they truly think they need you, and they essentially wish that their partners, or whatever they are, spouses, it could be, or their parent, was essentially as gifted as you, as good as you at handling things and handling them. And I think when they have also conflicts in their relationships, they might just reach out to you even more, because they have associated you with feeling safe and supported and comfortable, and that is so much for you to feel. I'm so sorry. I'm just feeling this energy feels really heavy. I can feel that you want to help them out, and sometimes you might even think, well, it's easy for me to do, it'll just take me a second, but then you all of a sudden find yourself always there. So, whew, that's tricky. So yeah, in case I didn't explain that well, I really get the impression that the family member is really just wanting you essentially to move back in, and I think that could be very subconscious. I think they might not totally realize that that's essentially what they are putting on you, but that is definitely what they're putting on you. A message from your guides that is also slipping through this card of the village is validating and affirming that you setting boundaries and stepping out of the situation and away from this person, this family member, was the best thing for you, and to trust that and know that. It is a very, very strong message coming through, is that although you may have learned a lot in that situation, you appreciate certain things, you love certain things, it was very much the right call for you to step out of that and get some space. I also feel like you have so much to offer the world, and in some ways that's where this parent block is coming in, is because they almost didn't want to share you so much. Okay, we're gonna move on from that. The next thing that I have cards for is, what does this family member ultimately want for you? And I asked it from their higher self, so that their ego and their kind of like lower fears didn't come into this. Just overall, what do they want for you? And I actually got 4 cards for you, and I couldn't help but notice that they're all around finances. So I have a suspicion that in your family dynamics, money and finances has been a negative subject. And so here, all I see is windfall of abundance, words of abundance, release resentment about money, unlimited ideas. And it's just such a strong message around, ultimately, they want you to break, the higher self, I should say, the higher self of this family member wants you to break these generational patterns around scarcity living, poor mindset, poor energy around money. And how I really see that is like, you are going to do this because you are like such a creative thinker. You solve problems so quickly. You see solutions. You're essentially kind of destined for this. The thing that's holding it back is definitely just that generational, and I'm sorry, I really am getting that it's generational lineage, your physical body's lineage, karma with money, or mindset with money is a better word. It feels like it's been like a thing for a while. And I even think for some members further back in your family, they may have even gotten opportunities where they may have won money or had inheritances or something, and then it always just somehow disappears or goes away. And you're really here to change that. So the higher self of this family member is really recognizing that, and recognizes that you have amazing ideas and that they are worth following and worth pursuing, and just to make sure you use better words around money and abundance and having things in your life, because they recognize, the higher self of this person recognizes that the words that they use are very negative, and that it's not bringing more abundance into people's lives. It's keeping the family lineage, what's the word I'm looking for? It's keeping the dynamic with money and diversity thinking still present in the family. And I really just want to say, release resentment about money. I actually really feel like I'm supposed to read this card, so I'll just read what it says here. Yes, the money system of the world can seem upsetting, but holding resentments about finances just pushes your abundance away. Instead, see money as a tool you can use to better the world, and this shift will help you attract support and golden opportunities. And I also want to read this. You have the ability to instantly manifest abundance by choosing powerful, positive words. Always describe your own and the world's economic situation in love and optimistic terms, and that is what you attract for yourself and others. Yeah, I feel really good about this for you. Like I was saying, I feel like you have so much natural understanding for some things, and I really feel like you understand sacred geometry and so many things like that. And I just feel like you're really, and this family member recognizes you're really set up to succeed in this life. And you're really going to break some patterns for them. And that's really amazing to see. Okay, we're just going to put these cards away and pull cards for your energy and how you're feeling in this dynamic. Now we're just going to pull cards asking, what does your inner child want from your family? What does your inner child want from your family? Okay, we're going to do these two. The tear, the mentor. So what I get from these two cards on what your inner child is wanting, pile 2, is honestly, the inner child is just wanting I believe it's a parent that this has been, but your family member, whoever they are, to just honestly be the parent, to be the teacher in the dynamic, to be the one who can hold space and help you out. And I really feel like there's a deep desire for being able to express your emotions, to express the challenges you're going through. Honestly, I feel like as a child, you probably weren't really given time to cry and be upset. It was more this parent was the one crying and being upset, and the inner child is really wishing and wanting that this family member could support it through that, or could give it that. So you've seen these cards. You know, I feel a lot of compassion for you guys. You seem like you've come pretty far in your life, and it seems like, I feel like in probably other areas of your life, you're not always being seen as this human being with emotions who's gone through difficulties and who has overcome them. I don't know, I just want to really hold space for that. I feel like that's a really big part of your journey, is having done things quite independently, and I can just really see your inner child is really wanting to feel its emotions. That's how I see it. It's wanting to have space put out there for it to be sad, not be okay, be overwhelmed, not know the answer. So I'm gonna just pull some cards on what you can do to meet that need of your inner child, in case you can't get this need met, or you obviously haven't been able to get this need met through your family members. So I just want to make sure you have some tools on suggestion. Okay, pile 2. What are some things pile 2 can do to meet this inner child's needs? What is something? Okay, we have surrender your desire to control people. Pile 2, surrender what is. And 3, surrender resentments. So surrender your desire to control people. Being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. So actually how I see this, and I mean, you take only what resonates, but how I see this is, I wonder if when fear comes up, or maybe even like some pain from not being seen, or some vulnerability comes up, I feel like sometimes out of habit, totally out of having to do this as a child, this may have been a technique you used to sort of control your emotions or suppress your emotions. And this card's just asking that instead of trying to control it or suppress it, or tell it to kind of go away, it's not a convenient time, to maybe acknowledge it a little bit more and essentially give it the space that your parents or this family member couldn't give to you, if that makes sense. Essentially just holding space for for yourself to be sad, or for that inner child to come up and express why it was hurt by something someone just said, or why it was overwhelmed by a situation that happened. And I think that will help over time with letting out some of that. So it might feel really overwhelming at the start, but I think as you do it more regularly, it's going to be less and less of this huge, I almost want to say this huge beast is maybe what you've called it, this huge flood of emotions. It will just become a easier thing to handle, an easier thing to acknowledge, an easier thing to feel and hold space for. I actually am going to say, if you guys have considered maybe seeing like a life coach or a therapist or something, I think this could be good, because your inner child is really wanting to not have to hold everything on its own. And I can't help but wonder if having someone there to hold space for you will just in itself help break down a lot of that pain, a lot of that vulnerability around not being seen. It's not going to do it all, but I just feel like having someone there to help or just to hear it could be a good shift for some of you. But either way, I do see that this is really going to transform things, not trying to control or hold back your emotions. And I kind of get around vulnerability, your vulnerable emotions. But like I said, take that as it resonates. It is a general pick a card reading. It is a general pick a card reading. So you just, if you're getting a certain impression off that card, go with that. Okay, so surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. I really like that. I actually think this could be really good. Yeah, it's very interesting. This one goes very well with this card, I think, where understandably it could probably be very frustrating to all of a sudden feel a certain emotion that it really is coming from the inner child. So how I see it is, you could be like, I'm an adult, like, why is this not working? Or why am I feeling like this? Or why am I getting like stressed out or frustrated by something? Or it could be anything like that. And I think because it's the inner child, there's almost like this adult you who can maybe get a little bit frustrated with why things are coming up, or why you're having a hard time doing something without an emotion popping up. And it's really just saying, unfortunately, the inner child is a part of you, and once you stop fighting it and you sort of just accept it as it being a part of you and something that there's a lot to learn from, I think that in itself will shift a lot of energies as well. You know, when we try to fight something so hard, usually it kind of just gets more attracted to us, it pops up more. I think that's kind of what this card is saying, is if you start acknowledging it, it actually will stop popping up so much. That's my impression, at least. And then surrender resentments. Holding on to the resentment only poisons you. Try to forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward towards positive situations in your life. That's a really nice card. This is very referring to, there might be some blocks around this in the root chakra. So like I said again, I really feel like this is all talking about the inner child. And I think you're really hard on yourself for essentially having emotions and being held back sometimes by them. And I don't think necessarily people are held back by their emotions, but I think that's your language around them. That if you just didn't feel that way, then it would be so much easier. Or if you didn't get maybe anxiety, it'd be so much easier. Something around that. And it's really saying that, once again, that's really coming from the inner child wounding. And once you start to work on that, I really feel like a lot of things are going to shift for this group. And I'm not really sure what you're working on or trying to bring in, but I feel like this would change a lot of things for you. There's several cards here about it shifting things. So there's maybe there's like a cycle you find yourself in, or maybe you're just feeling a little blocked in an area of your life. I do feel like working on this inner child stuff, which I know can be a little bit annoying to hear, I think is really going to shift a lot for this pile. So that's actually really, it's really exciting to see when you see in a card reading that if you've been asking, why am I stuck here? And then it gives you an answer. I don't know. I love that. I'm also just going to pull some cards from the Inner Peace deck. Just kind of asking a little bit more about how you can support yourself more, how you can support your inner child, your emotional health. I just like these cards, and let's just pull a few more because I always feel like kind of like this group hasn't been liking my advice, so I'm really sorry for that, but I can only tell you what cards come out and tell me. So, okay, this one says, your true tribe can't show up until you do. How can you show more of the real you? Aw, I'm sorry guys. There's another beautiful card around. I think that just answered the question I was kind of wondering, what you were trying to essentially grow more in or unblock. You might have a hard time with finding really good supportive friends, or you might actually have a lot of friends who ask you to let them in more. And if that is the case, I think that's just it. Saying you really fully accepting all of you is going to help you be more present with these people, because unfortunately, when you suppress some of your emotions, some of the grosser emotions that you just, I shouldn't say grosser, but some of the ones that, we don't like, they're a little bit lower feeling, so we don't like dealing with them, then usually we can kind of end up dulling and suppressing all of our emotions. And I have a hunch that you have some friends in your life that really want to see all of you, and they really want to be able to support you. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. I think a lot of them get so much support from you that they want to be able to give it back. They want it to be an equal, balanced relationship. And I feel like it's really saying, you've got this. You guys are really smart. You figured out a lot of things in your life. You can figure this out, because in hindsight, you've overcome everything. You've overcome everything else. Yeah, I really feel like this is something that you're wanting. You're really wanting more real, reliable, supportive relationships. Okay, and the last one we're going to do is gratitude is the life force of peace. What are you thankful for? I like this because I like it because there's a lot of pink on this card, and that means you're going to be opening yourself up to receiving things. And gratitude is a really good one because if you're into manifesting in or bringing in more supportive relationships, the best way to do that is already thinking about them on a higher energy. Think about it this way. Like, if you are stuck kind of in a very fearful place and you're like, oh, I don't want unsupportive people anymore. I don't want shitty friends. I don't want this. The universe doesn't always hear the don'ts in there. They're just matching that energy with the energy they're going to bring in. So if you have a lot of like anger and fear in that energy and you're putting it out there and saying, give me more of this, is kind of how the earth is hearing it. So then it's like coming and giving you more of that. So that's why people are always big on gratitude. They always just say, like, try to think of what you would want and then say it as if it's already happening, because you want to be on that higher energy frequency, because you want that to come in. So think about how fun it would be to go do your favorite hobby, or to do, like, if there's a sport you like, or maybe you love chess, which I guess apparently is a sport. I just found that out the other day. If you really like critiquing restaurants, like whatever it is, you just vision that and like that feeling, like how fun that would be, how happy you'd be, and then put that out there and say, like, I am so grateful for these amazing relationships and friendships. And then the universe matches the energy that you're putting out and then brings it in. Or that's what I understand of manifestation, and why you want to, that's why they're always saying, like, gratitude, be in the higher frequency, be in the higher energy range, so that the universe matches the frequency with that. Because yeah, I've really realized in my experience that it understands energy and frequency better than the specific words sometimes. But Like I said, I can only talk about my experience. You might have a different experience, so you always just take what resonates with you. But I've just found that that is the distinct difference when I'm trying to bring things in. Okay, and then the last question I had for this pile was just, how can you connect better with this family member? And that is just 100%. I threw that in for the people who might want to connect more with them. If you don't want to connect more with them, you leave that there, okay? This is totally for you. It's all about you, this card reading. It's nothing about my opinions matter. It's just what you needed to hear or want to take from it that matters. So I just threw this in as one for anyone who might actually feel like they want to connect more with a family member. So pile 2, how can pile 2 connect more with their family? Okay, we've got this one. Don't make assumptions. Be yourself around others. And it says, the biggest assumption that humans make is that everyone sees life the way we do. We assume that others think the way we think, feel the way we feel, judge the way we judge, and abuse the way we abuse. We are afraid to be ourselves around others because we think others will judge us, victimize us, abuse us, and blame us as we do ourselves. So how I really hear that is making sure we're staying curious and present in our conversations, which can always be easier said than done. Just making sure that we're not putting our own bias and filling in the blanks for other people. But like I said, you just do what feels right. I'm just going to ask for one more here. Okay, we want the orange one, I guess. What does it say? Everyone lives in their own dream. All people live in their own dream, in their own mind. They are in a completely different world from the one we live in. Ooh, so there's a lot about people having very different perceptions of reality than us. So that, I guess, is important for this pile. So you just take that and leave it if it doesn't resonate. Okay, so I am going to be doing a chakra balancing for the collective. I'm going to put it at the end of all of this video, of this whole video. And yeah, the purpose in it is I was just really feeling like this group could just use an overall chakra balancing, especially with family ties coming in. I really wanted to tune in on the root chakras of everyone, but then also usually I find if there's a block in the root chakra, there's a block in some other chakra wherever we were either not heard or supported. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So if you feel called to it, if you want it, go ahead and go to the timestamp for that. If not, no pressure. It's honestly just there for you to take or leave. And that's it. Okay. I wish you the best on your journeys, and I'm sure you're going to do really great things. You have all the skills and all the tools to do it. I'll see you around. Hello, pile 3. You chose this rose quartz tower. Okay, so I have already pre-chosen the cards with the family members' energy in them. I still have yet to pick the cards with your energy in them. So we are gonna just start with the first question, which is, in the perspective of your family, pile 3, how do they see you? How do they perceive you? And so we have delights in the arts without having to be a professional, or alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. And we have inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrate the beauty in yourself. The energies I get from this card is, I get the impression your families think, I kind of get it that you're a little bit of a free spirit, in the sense that you can get really, really focused and fully invested and really excited and passionate about a new thing. And I think it could be around health or hobbies, self-growth, self-development. I think it could definitely be around food and even exercise. I feel like it's a little bit of everything, really. And they just see it as like you can just get so focused, get so intrigued by something, and have all the passion in the world. And they kind of see that you can just like drop it all, and then maybe sometimes you still like it, but it's just like not as exciting as it was before, to all of a sudden finding like the new secret of the world and the secret of life and going 100% into that and loving it and knowing everything about it. And then once again, maybe like letting go of that, but then going for the next thing. And it's kind of a funny thing for someone like White to say someone sees you, but how I would see that is that they see that you just have a lot of like passion and energy. You have an ability to just love things, but you also have this never-ending curiosity to find a better way, to experience more, and to really just take advantage and live the best life you can. I think that's how I would say it. But I also get just that you're like, you do everything in a little bit of a quirky way, in their opinion, like from them, right? It's all in perspective of them. So you do it in a little bit of a quirkier way than they would. I think maybe they're just a little more traditional. I feel like they might wear a little more plainer, simpler clothes. And then we have you here who dresses maybe in bright clothes and patterns, and maybe rock some like controversial trends in clothing and such, or in jewelry. And I think they just see that as like you're just really like this passionate, wild energy ball who wants to just experience life. Yeah, okay, I think that's all I'm really getting for those ones right now. So we are just going to take a deeper look now on we're going to look at what is your family subconsciously or consciously wanting from you? And I actually got 3 cards. I got the Mystic, I got Agape, and I got the Mask. So what I get from these cards is I actually really think that your family is pretty supportive, just from what I can see here, and what they're wanting from you. Or sorry, yeah, I guess it's kind of funny. This is what they're wanting from you, but I actually feel it's more what they're wanting for you. Interesting. I think they really want to see you transform this energy from being all over the place into a more pure version of yourself. I think how they see it is they want you to be fully you with them. They want you to be fully open, and I think they feel or sense that there's a little bit of a suppression of yourself. And although you're trying all these amazing things, I think they just I almost feel like they want you to come out of the closet, out of the spiritual closet, I think it is. I'm getting a little confused on this one, but I almost see that they see something within you and they just want you to be honest with them about it. Yeah, I feel like this is, like I said, it is coming from their perspective, so it doesn't mean it has to be your truth or the best for you or the best thing for you, but it's just from their perspective. I think they think that sometimes you can hide behind all these things that you're doing, and they really just want to see you. They just want to see the authentic you because they love it. They think it's the most beautiful thing, and they really want to see you really just embrace and fully be you with them. And there is like this thing around fully embracing your spirituality and being open and honest about it. Fully embracing what you believe, I think, is maybe the better part of it. Fully embracing whatever is at the core of you. And it's very interesting that that is in what they want from you. So I wonder if your family is a little bit spiritual in themselves, or they're really, honestly, they do feel very loving. They do feel very loving. So I almost wonder if they're what they want from you is also kind of what they want for you, which is really neat to see actually come out in one of these card decks. So a lot of them have been the parental fears going down on the child that weren't necessarily serving anyone. So yeah, I feel like this group, the energy here feels a lot more sincere, and it feels like this family member or these family members actually care more about you and your needs versus them and their needs when it comes to you. So that's cool to see. And then I also have, I'll just give you the two cards that are what does your family ultimately want for you from their higher self. And I wonder if this already kind of got answered in these cards here that say actions speak loudly, express your love through actions, and act as if your partner is here. Whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them. Wow, that's actually really nice. So from what I'm getting from this is they really want you to find your soulmate energy. I feel like your parents have a really great partnership or a great love, and I feel like they want that for you. And it's honestly, I don't feel any fear there. I just feel like true, like love. They love, and they love you, and they want you to experience that. And I wonder if you've maybe just had some not so loving relationships. I'm not positive, but it definitely is adamant here that they want you to experience that, and they really want that to be part of your soul journey, is having a great love, a great romantic story. And I really see it as like someone who has the same energy as you, not you changing in any way, you finding your like vibrational match and basically just bringing so much fun in the world. That's what I see. I see you bring fun and joy, and less seriousness, because too many people are too serious, and that's actually really sweet for them. For them to want that. And then for this one, actions speak loudly, express your love through action. This one is interesting because I'm getting a little stumped about why that seems so important, why nature seems so important in this one particularly. I think for this card, action speaks loudly, I think there's a couple of things here. I think for them, they really want you to not hold yourself back in any way. They want you to get out there, and if you want to travel, do that. If you have a crazy dream to walk an insanely long distance or backpack or do things that a lot of people think are not okay or not possible, they want you to do it, because I think they just see that that is truly the energy of your soul, is just picking it up and going. And then I also think there's a little bit of a message here about, I think you guys are great words of affirmation people. I think you speak beautifully. I think you can really get people feeling great and wonderful, and really, really do a lot of great work there and bring a lot of love into this world through that. And I think what they're wanting you to do is learn how to also physically show that as well. And I think how I'm seeing that is that you're just so good with words that they'd really like to see you learn how to also be good with, I guess it's interesting, I almost want to say consistency. I don't know why that matter or what that even really means, but I think they're just like, it's kind of clashing actually with the other message they're saying. I think it's like their higher self would like to see you be a little more consistent in maybe your relationships. Just putting, yeah, I don't know. Something like that. Okay, yeah. So they really just want you to travel the world and enjoy it and not be held back, and just spread that love you have out there to everyone. Yeah, and I think also through physical action. So you could be doing like little acts of services, because I think there's a lot of things you don't really mind doing that a lot of other people really hate. And I think they're even saying like through doing stuff like that, you bring so much love and light into this world. Yeah, very beautiful family energy here. They really want the best for you. I mean, I'm just a card reader looking in, but from what I can see is that there's just so much love and acceptance for who you are, and the real, if there's any block here, I really see it around them wanting you to fully embrace yourself, because they just want to see that. They want to see someone with your great energy fully embraced in this world. Okay, we are going to pull cards for you now on what does your inner child want from them. So we're just going to do this. What does pile 3's inner child want from their parents? I got that right away. And the womb. So how I see this is, for your inner child, I see that they really want your family to fully accept them, all sides of them, and all the maybe sometimes wacky, crazy, random, out there ideas. You just want it to be fully accepted, because it's so you, it's who you are, is embracing all these things. And then also the other thing I get is that your inner child is really just wanting things to be, almost seems simple. Like, instead of overcomplicating things or overanalyzing what you're doing, just to accept you and give you love and warmth and encouragement and a safe place just to be. Really, I guess I even thinking of just like of people who can hold place. You just, yeah, well, I'm tongue-tied. I feel like it's your inner child is really just wanting a family that can hold space for you and fully accept you. And yeah, that's definitely a big theme here. So I am just going to pull a couple of cards here on how you can meet that inner child needs yourself, so that it's being met. And so what does pile 3, what can pile 3 do to meet their inner child's needs? Okay, we want these two. So I have surrender to prayer. Give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. And surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that come just from being you. I really like this because I can't stop staring at this white horse, and I actually thought it was a unicorn at first. And I think these are just very appropriate cards for you. Definitely on just trusting that the universe will bring in what you want it to bring in. And I feel like if you're not into manifestation, you should really be, because it's just saying trust that whatever you want to experience and have in this life will be brought to you. I feel like you have a lot of love to give out, and you do give out. And how I see that, I think the only place there might be block still here is I don't think you fully accepted yourself. I don't know that for sure, but it could be the inner child part of you that still needs to be accepted. It could be maybe the things that make you quirky and unique, that are beautiful, that you still need to accept. But I really do see that you give a lot of love. I think you take some of the love, like I shouldn't say take, you accept that love back, but I don't feel like you fully love yourself all the time. I could be wrong there, but there's just a little bit of a block there in the heart around yourself and how you perceive yourself. And I don't think you see how great you are. And if you didn't see that, even with your family, they all thought you were great. They really wanted to see the full you. They loved you. They wanted you to be as open as with them as possible. And there was just a lot of love there for you. So much love. So just something to really, really want to point out there is that people think you are great exactly as you are. And if you feel like you're an outsider, a bit different, I think that's where the inner child work needs to come, because people just love you. They just love you so much. Okay, I'm just going to pull a few more cards from this one. And just asking if there's any other messages on how to help you with inner child work, how to help you, pile 3. Okay, support you, I should say. Are not what they seem. You're only trapped by your illusion. What freedom do you seek? I actually really like this card, because I think this kind of just validates what I was just saying about people love you so much and people think you are so great and so amazing. And I think the thing that needs to shift is just that you realizing that people love you and think you are great and amazing too. Yeah. I think so. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm just seeing this one part of what's coming out in the card reading, but I really just think that there's a lot of people around you who think you're so amazing and great. We'll pull one more. Okay. Come together. We need each other. Where have you been separating yourself or pushing against others in the world? So this is another card about making sure that you're letting people in to support you and fully see you. And that I get this card come out when there are people in your life that want to support you and be there and be a great support system for you. They want that connection. They want to hear what you struggle with, your vulnerabilities, the hardships, and they want to be there to support you because you are going through it. So this is a really good card to come out as a confirmation or a validation that you have good people and they're just wanting to be there to fully appreciate you and support you as you need. Yeah. Okay. Lots of love. That's all I can say about this pile, is I just feel so much love coming through for you in this pile, and I really hope that you're feeling it too at home or wherever you are, that there's just a lot of love out there from your family and definitely friends. I feel like they've all jumped in. There isn't just family in here now. There's a lot of people who are like, she really needs to know, he really needs to know, they really need to know that they are just so loved and appreciated and so beautiful, and they just need to know that. That's what I keep getting for you. Okay, so I have one more card I'm going to pull for you. Maybe we'll pull 2 of how can you connect more with your family. And we'll just see what comes up. How can pile 3 connect more with their family members? This one. Okay. Embrace your freedom. Don't take anything personally. You gain a huge amount of freedom when you take nothing personally. No spell can affect you regardless of how strong it may be. And if you live without fear, if you love, you will be happy with your life. Oh, that's really nice. How I see that is not being afraid to be open and tell your family your truth. And that I mean, like I said, only ever do what resonates. If something does not feel good, don't do it. But I really feel like there is a truth that you've wanted to share with your family. And what I'm getting from this is that I think they already know. They had some suspicions and they love you anyways. They just want you to be that real and honest with them, whatever this is. Yeah, whatever you want to tell them. And then the last one I have for you around how you can connect better with your family is be aware of unconscious assumptions. And it says, assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or how we feel. Yeah, so definitely maybe another card on saying that you might have had a bias on what people might think about you or say about you, but I feel like this card reading, your guides, your family members are asking you to give them the chance to prove you wrong. Give them the chance to have their own opinions and reactions around it. But like I said, you only take what resonates and feel good, because at the end of the day, I'm just a card reader on YouTube and you are living your life. So if you needed this as encouragement to go do what you needed to do, then go do that. But if you're still feeling uncertain about it and this doesn't make you feel any more like you want to, then you just follow that. I'm just gonna leave it here. If you are wanting a chakra balancing, we are gonna do that now. Everyone's gonna join us who wants one at the end of this video here. You just have to affirm in any way if you want to. Don't feel pressured to. I just wanted to do a chakra balancing because I felt like there was a lot of root chakra blocks that were affecting different piles and different other chakras, like around trust or love or around expressing themselves. So I just thought, you know what, let's just do a chakra balancing. I think that's going to be really good for the overall collective in this reading. So if you want that, go ahead and just, I guess, wait 10 seconds and you'll be there. Okay, I'll see you guys around, or I'll see you in the clearing. Alright, welcome everyone. So you are tuning in for the balancing of the chakras. This is for the collective of Cageless Readings viewers or listeners, if you don't have to actually be watching it for it to work for you. So I wanted to do a chakra balancing, especially after going through all the card readings and seeing how there was a lot of inner child that were maybe leaving some limiting beliefs in certain areas of the chakras for you all. And I just don't really like leaving people feeling a little unbalanced like that, or I don't really like seeing things and then not doing anything about it if I can. So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to be doing Reiki, and I decided that I was gonna use a crystal to help energetically channel in a healing for each one of your chakras. And I also am just gonna I am also just gonna check the energy before moving on to each chakra with my pendulum here, and we're just gonna see if the energy is good for the collective. If not, we're gonna keep wording things until it feels good, until it's cleared out for you, or balanced, I should say. The main goal is just having them balanced. So we are gonna be using, for this collective healing, I'm actually setting the intention of using the Reiki long distance symbol for this, and I'm also going to be asking your highest council guides to essentially help me with this clearing, so that whenever you see this, your guides help bring this healing in for you and leave you feeling better, essentially. But that being said, I have the hunch that this is going to be a pretty powerful balancing. I don't know, there's some good energy here right now. I feel like my intention is pretty strong. Those are all things that usually result in a pretty deep clearing and balancing. So please drink water after this, 2 or 3 liters. I really don't want anyone to have the energetic clearing hangover where you can get a little headache or just feel kind of gross. So the best way to not get that is to drink a lot of water. Okay, so that's enough of that. We're gonna stop rambling now. First, we're going to ground ourselves. So please take a few deep breaths down through your nose, out through your mouth. Do it 4 times, or visualize your feet being rooted in Mother Earth, whichever works best. I'm gonna do that right now myself. Alright, so I call upon and invoke to step forward the highest form of source energy, which is love, to step into this clearing and any of the guardian angels, the archangels, and any other guides, all in the energy of love and light for the highest good of all involved, to please step forward now and assist in this collective clearing. I ask that the collective is surrounded in peaceful, loving energy during this clearing, and that I remain a neutral, unbiased channel for the highest form of love, source energy on behalf of the Cageless Readings viewers today, or whenever you see this. I ask that your spiritual team applies this clearing for you now or whenever you hear this. I ask that this be done by the highest source energy of love, that your guides working with you are aligned, upgraded, and able to support you through this clearing and afterwards on your new path. I ask that the guides that are by your side now are of the highest vibration, wisdom, and love to best bring in this clearing and balancing today. I ask them to help channel in the highest source energy or Reiki energy now. I ask them to first start with the root chakra of the collective. I ask them to please remove any old programming, any limiting beliefs, any blocks, any fears that are no longer serving this collective. I ask that they replace this energy with the highest knowing and understanding of the truth of the universe and love and light. I ask that this be done now, and so it is. Okay, we're just going to check the energy. Please show me the collective's root chakra energy. Please show me the collective's root chakra energy. Okay, I like it. Okay, I ask that now we move on to the sacral chakra, and I ask that any limiting beliefs, programming, self-doubts, fears, ancestral lineage beliefs be removed and instead replaced with the download of the universal love, source energy, the understanding of the universal truth. I ask that it be downloaded with the knowledge of love and light, the truth of the universe, understanding, and wisdom. I ask that this be done now, and so it is. Okay, we're just going to check that one now. Please show me the energy of the collective sacral chakra. Please show me the energy of the collective sacral chakra. Okay. I ask now that we please move on to the solar plexus chakra of the collective. I ask that any self-doubts, anxiety and worry, any overthinking, any imbalances, limiting beliefs, any destructive habits, any old programming that is no longer serving the highest good of this collective, please be removed now. I ask that instead it be replaced with the downloaded source energy, the knowledge of love and light, the truth of the universe, the understanding and wisdom. I ask that this be done now, and so it is. Okay, I think that one still has something else in it. I ask that, I'm going to take a little deeper look here. I ask that your highest council, please come in and remove any other blocks, anything else that is no longer serving this collective in their solar plexus chakra. Ask that any old stagnant energy be gently released, healed and released, and then removed. And replaced with the highest form of source energy, which is love. The connectedness of the universe, and the wisdom of love and light and understanding. I ask that this be done now, and so it is. I'm just going to check that. Please show me the energy of the solar plexus chakra of the collective. Please show me the energy of the solar plexus. Okay. I feel better about that now. Okay, perfect. Clear. Release, clear. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to add, please balance the energy of the solar plexus chakra. Please balance the energy of the collective solar chakra now. Please harmonize the solar plexus chakra with the root chakra. Please harmonize the chakra system and put them in balance with each other. There we go. Okay. Sorry, sometimes I know our chakras, for some reason, don't like to be in sync with each other. Okay. Should be fixed now. Please show me. Let's get fun. Okay, so now we're going to go into the heart. I ask your highest spiritual team to please now focus on the heart chakra. I ask them to gently remove any blocks, any old programmings, any limiting beliefs, any pain, any ancestral beliefs, limiting beliefs, any karmic ties to love being pain, any hesitancy, any self-doubt, any doubtness and deservingness of love. I ask that your highest spiritual team remove this now and instead replace it with the download of the highest source energy, which is love. The remembrance of the truth of the universe, the understanding and the wisdom of love and light. I ask that your spiritual team remove any belief in hardship in love. I ask them to remove any false beliefs and old programming around safety of love and replace it with the highest form of source energy, which is love, and the remembrance of the truth of the universe and the understanding. I feel pretty good about that one. That one feels really, really good now. The heart chakra feels really good. Okay, that's great. I'm really happy to see that. Sorry, I had my pendulum in my hand and it started swinging like crazy, so I'm really happy to see that. We can check it just to make sure you all know. Please show me the heart chakra of the collective. Please show me the heart chakra of the collective. Yeah, that feels so much better than before. There was a lot of blocks in the heart chakra in the card reading, so I'm really glad to see that one is doing good now. So happy for that. It's how we receive all the beautiful things in life, so that's why I so like it to see that one good. Okay, let's get into the throat chakra here. Okay, I now ask your highest spiritual team to please remove any limits to your speech, any old programmings on any old programmings, any traps. There's definitely some traps. Any traps that were set around freedom of speech, any limiting beliefs around your ancestral lineage. Ooh, okay, sorry, there's some interesting things happening there. I ask that any old programming be removed now. I ask that any native thinking any limiting beliefs, any limiting words, any ancestral limiting thoughts or stories be removed now. I ask that instead it be replaced with the downloaded knowledge of love and light, the truth of the universe, understanding and wisdom, and the remembrance of the universal truth. I ask that any energetic attachments, cords, or physical blocks created by these limiting beliefs, these old programs, all be removed now by your highest spiritual team. I ask instead they replace this with the highest form of source love energy, the knowing and the truth of the understanding of the universe. I ask that this be done now, and so it is. Sorry, I just feel like it just needs a few more minutes for that one. I ask that your spiritual team downloads the knowledge of safety, of freedom of speech, of truth of love and light into the throat chakra. Okay, we're gonna see about that one. Okay, please show me the collective's throat chakra. Please show me the collective's throat chakra. Okay, so that one I would like to see a little bit bigger, but I feel like there was some pretty big blocks for some, and that this moving like this already is really good, but I don't want to do too much too soon, so we're just gonna leave it with that. But yeah, I think it should do a lot already, but there's just a little bit there around trusting what you have to say to be heard as you mean it. Something like that is coming up for a block. It's not the truth. It's just a little block there. A learned lesson that no longer serves you. Okay, so we are going to now just take a look at the third eye chakra. And I call upon your spiritual team now to look at the third eye chakra. I ask them to please remove any false conceptions, any programming, any conditioning, both from peers, ancestral lineage, and self. I ask that they remove any contracts, any energy attachments, any self-doubts, and any other limiting beliefs that no longer are serving the highest good in love and light of this collective. I ask that instead it be replaced with the downloaded truth of love and light, the highest form of source energy, which is love, understanding and wisdom, and the knowledge of the truth of the universe. I ask that this be done now, and so it is. I ask that they remove any doubt in seeing clearly, any conditioning around trusting. I ask this be done now and replaced with the highest source energy, which is love. Okay, I'm going to check that one now. Please show me the energy of the collective's third eye. Please show me the energy of the collective's third eye, please. Okay, I really like that. That feels really good too. All right, now we're just going to do the crown. This one felt pretty good before going in, so not expecting too much restraint from this chakra. All right, so now I call upon your highest spiritual team to please remove any blocks in the crown chakra. I ask them to remove any doubts, any fears, any programmings that no longer serve them, any contracts in this lifetime, ancestral lifetime, or past lifetime around trusting the universe. I ask that any programs around being safe to be, safe to see, safe to hear, please be removed now and replaced with the download of the highest form of source energy, which is love, the wisdom and the knowledge of the truth of the universe, and the understanding of universal law. I ask that this be done now, and so it is. I ask that any old programming from ancestral lineage, from this lifetime and from past, be removed around trusting in the angelic realm and your spiritual team. I ask that this be done now and replaced with the downloaded truth of the highest form of source love energy, which is love. Okay, I think that one's good. Please show me the energy of the collective's crown chakra. Okay, so sorry everyone, my camera just died and that was my second battery that I just used. So it all looks really, really good now. And the only thing that I'm gonna do is I'm just going to make sure that all the chakras are balanced with each other and connected and essentially communicating with each other. And then I'm going to essentially end it by grounding you. Yeah, so if you're at home and you're watching this, maybe just be a little gentle with yourself after this. Like I said, please drink a lot of water and be careful if you've been sitting down for a while or laying down to just stand up a little bit nicer. I feel like you were probably all a little bit astral traveling there, or what do they say, out of body experience. So if you stand up after this, you might just feel a little lightheaded just for the first couple of minutes after this. I feel like there was a lot cleared, so that's really great news. But also, just like I said, be gentle with yourself. So I'm just gonna essentially do that now. I'm going to ask your highest spiritual team to please make sure all the chakra systems are connected and working together. I want to make sure that the earth chakra is well balanced, cleared, and rooting all these chakras together. Okay, apparently we're just clearing a little bit of something there, but it will be all good in a minute here. Okay, so now we're gonna ground you guys. So here we go. You're gonna come back to reality here real quick. So go on your eyes. Sorry, I always laugh because I always feel like I'm always like, whoa, this is what it's like to be back in a human body after I've been getting energy healing. So I call upon your high spiritual team now to please connect all those chakras together and root them all down in that root chakra with Mother Earth, to please root them all in Mother Earth energy. I call on your spiritual team to do that now. Ground their energy in Mother Earth, but I ask you to do it only to each individual of this collective's comfort. I ask that it be done now, and so it is. Okay, sorry, I was just thinking I should add in that last part in because some people don't spend any of their life being very grounded, and if all of a sudden you're grounded, you might feel really, really uncomfortable. So, okay, hopefully that helps for some of you who don't like being grounded. Okay, I think that's where I'm gonna end this. Sorry about my camera dying. If I just survived one more minute, it would have been perfect. Yeah, so, be easy with yourself, drink lots of water, like I was saying, and I hope you have a great, amazing day or night whenever you see this, and I'm so excited that I was able to do this for you, that you chose to do this. That's really amazing, and yeah, it's awesome. You guys are doing a lot of work, and I just also wanted to take the time to say, like, in the card readings that I had, there was a lot of tough things that came through, a lot of hard things to hear, and I'm just really proud of all of you for essentially being open and hearing that. That's really, really hard stuff to do sometimes. So I'm really proud of you. If that means anything to you, at least I'm very proud of you. You are doing great. Wherever you're headed, wherever you feel stuck right now, I'm sure you're gonna be just fine. You're doing the work. So have a good one, and I'll catch you around, okay? Be gentle.